Hi, I'm Max.
And I'm Jonathan.
Welcome to Hot Lava Sports, and today's episode is going to be on the Padres spring training outlook.
Yeah, so we're really next week, Max. We starting the spring training
Thursday.
next Thursday. Literally a week from now, we are streaming right now on a Thursday, and it's a lot of good news for the Padres for spring training. I know football's finally over, which we're going to do a podcast about the results of the Super Bowl, so don't worry about that. But yeah, baseball season's here now. What are we excited for, Max? What do you want to say first about excitement?
Well, when I looked at the depth chart from last week, it showed only like a handful of guys in the mix. Now it shows 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There's 10 guys on the list for like 7 more spots.
For the 40-man roster?
Well, no, for the rotation.
Okay, we're talking about just rotation. Okay.
I think a sure thing is going to be Darvish, Musgrove, and King, and then our number 4, number 5 will probably be Randy Vasquez or Johnny Brito or Matt Waldron or even Pedro.
Yeah.
And people are going to be battling out in spring training.
And that's what I'm excited for the final rotation. Like mainly the last two guys. Who's going to take the last 5-man rotation? If we do a 5-man, which I'm pretty sure we are going to do a 5-man rotation. But yeah, I think especially for spring training, I think they're going to really try to compete and say, hey, I deserve this spot in the rotation, because I feel like this season it's going to be a tough season for the Padres.
Yeah, and and you have to like fans. What's kind of fun as a fan, you get to see the up and coming players of your franchise,
Right.
and these players are going to be fighting for opening day spot.
Yeah, and I think what AJ did was pretty good. It sucks that we had to trade Soto, but we returned was pitchers.
We got a starter.
We needed pitchers for sure. Now that we have a lot of pitchers, our bullpen is looking good, right? We still don't have an official closer yet, but I think there's some that are available to close if needed. But outfielders, I think we're still looking for some outfielders. I know we just signed Profar, so that he can help us out with there, right?
Yeah, absolutely. It's just good. The question is, I've also been hearing they may put Merrill in the outfield.
Yeah, Jackson Merrill.
But we have, with the Kim rumors cooling down, that's probably really a good relief.
And that's about the trading for the guys.
Yeah.
People have been thinking that Kim might be traded for MLB ready players, but I don't think he's going anywhere yet. Maybe, depending on how we are, maybe the deadline, maybe if we're still competing, then maybe we'll keep him, right? If he's doing pretty well. But if we're kind of at that point where like it's time to do another trade or trying to rebuild or whatever you want to do, like a sell, then yeah, I think Kim might be in the block because we have a lot of infielders.
Yeah, and Mike Schilt is a great guy, veteran.
Knows the game well.
And
Yeah.
he knows how to handle a lot of different personalities, and he's a winner.
Yeah.
But imagine our catcher position's a little better from before.
Okay.
We went from Hedges to Nola to Campy.
And Campy, so Hedges, yeah, we know about Hedges, but Campy looks like he from last season looked like a much better hitter. We need hitters. We don't need a big powerful guy, but we need someone that can contribute and be on base and score those RBIs.
And are we gonna get a Higfest?
Yeah. I mean, hey, what do you think? I mean,
he was their starting catcher in New York, so
yeah.
that's nothing to take lightly.
And I think Campy is going to be the starter, right? The first pitch. Because who would we have after that? We have, for catchers, we have Kyle, right?
We might not even carry 3.
Yeah. We just need a backup. But I think Campy deserves that spot for what he did last season for sure.
Yeah, and another thing about, to go back to the pitching, another guy that if he could stay healthy could really fill a hole is Adrian Morjan.
Yes.
If he could stay healthy, that would be huge for the rotation.
And it's funny you say that because he has not been really Was he last season? Was he in pitch? Like, was he hurt or something? Or
He was out most of the year.
Yeah, so it's kind of weird that you brought him up because he's like, kind of forgot about that guy now. Lefty, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And to another thing, do you want to add on while I find this other?
Yeah, and like talking about spring training, I think this is where we're gonna see a lot of new faces for Padres uniforms. A lot of guys are invited to this to see if they can fit into a roster. Like, I'm talking people from high A to double A to even triple A. So these guys are gonna try and find a spot, and we know that, hey, these guys can be backups when they need to be called up. It's exciting. I'm excited for the spring training. I'm excited to see what the Padres have to offer. I mean, it's good to have them back because from last season it's kind of disappointment to like this year now. Like, we don't have too much to expect as in last season. We have now there's no the chip on our shoulder type of deal.
Yeah. So to look at what we've lost in free agency, we lost Hader to the Astros on their qualifying offer.
Yeah.
Zeph Lugo went to KC. Michael Wacha went to KC after team option decline.
Okay.
Nick Martinez went to Cincy.
That's right.
We got Wandy a couple weeks ago. Sanchez went to Milwaukee. Luis Garcia, Angels. Tim Hill went to the White Sox.
And I love Tim Hill. Talk about real quick. Tim Hill was pretty coming in clutch, huh?
Yeah.
He can come in like that 7th inning, 6th inning, even 8th.
He was solid.
He's solid. Like, you can.
He had a little command issues, but he was good.
Most of the part, yeah. Like, I mean, I get it. You can't always be solid every time you pull up, but most of the time, 8 out of 10 times, you feel confident. Yeah.
Yeah, and then we signed Robert Perez Jr. from Seattle and Cal Mitchell from Pittsburgh, who are going to be fighting for an outfield spot.
Okay.
So that's another reason why I think the team is like really being patient on their outfield.
Yeah.
But I think fans can take a breath now that knowing Profar is back.
Yeah, and I think for was it $1 million he got signed for a year? I think that's a great offer for sure. He can come in clutch when we need it. He could be like the 9th hitter,
Mm-hmm.
be like another backup leadoff, 9 then lead off. So, and everyone loves him as a fan fest. I mean, outfielding he's fine, and hitting he's good. He's good overall. I think it's a great deal that we signed him for $1 million for that year contract.
Yeah.
What do you think about Blake Snell? Where do you think what's in your mind about him? Like, is he gonna sign soon? Like, are they gonna wait till spring training? What you thinking about that?
It might be closer to opening day at this point.
And do you think it's just he's really trying to get that price? Like, he's not dropping his price.
I mean, he's having fun coaching kids in Seattle right now.
He's gonna be back. He's not saying I'm gonna push a button.
Yeah,
like,
but
you think he's gonna skip a whole season?
No. I'm just saying he is in no rush to sign. I mean, he's gonna, and he's staying in shape, and he's just letting the process play out.
Okay.
But he's gonna get
his money.
Yeah,
his bag.
But he's also willing to do some short-term deals for more guaranteed money up front. But
any teams you thinking that he might fit in, or that he might choose?
I mean, he resides in Seattle's, and adding him to Luis Castillo would
it'd be good, huh? Back to back like that. Game 1, game 2. Imagine.
Yeah, and those are like 2 aces right there.
Yeah.
A lefty and a righty.
Yeah, that's good. That's a good point. Yeah, because especially if they make the playoffs, right? Like in best out of 3. Those are good. Those are good. 1 and 2.
Yeah.
So I mean, I like to see Seattle, but I mean it's anyone's. Anyone can pick him up if the money's good and they're having to work with.
Yeah.
And, but how about another one is Trevor Bauer. I know people are like left and right about it. Like, they don't want to see him play ever again. Some people says, what haven't happened. MLB saying he's fine to play. What do you think about Trevor? He already said like he can do the bare minimum, which is $750.
Yeah, this is a question a lot of people have,
and it's a lot of people by yeah, he's good in baseball, but what he did, or whatever you believe in, or whatever you think is right and what's not right. But as a player, do you think teams don't want to add him because it might not look good for the clubhouse and the fan base and just the image?
Yeah, I mean, it's really hard to like. It's understandable to question Bauer because like what is true, what is not
Right.
true. In MLB suspended him the full length.
Right.
It was like the 2 year
I
or
think it was 2 years, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
So he panned that out. He played in Japan, so he still is. He didn't like take baseball off, so he's still in game shape, and um, and he's willing to take like a smaller offer just to play.
Yeah, just to show what he has still, like,
Yeah.
still there.
Now the regardless of if he did it or not is, I mean, the justice system made its decision.
Okay.
Like, regardless if he is innocent or not, the result is he's innocent.
Okay.
So that I think teams would be more comfortable taking him.
Yeah.
Because anyone can say anything to make a story out of something.
Yeah.
But at the same time, due diligence on, like, you can't just ignore things either.
No, and that's a hard topic. That's why, I mean, like, if nothing happened, he'll been already on a team.
Yeah, there's probably more to it.
I think it's more to it. I mean, of course, we don't know the whole in and out. I mean, I think there's more to it than we know. It just seen media-wise or what he's saying. But people have been saying, like, you know, I heard him in the podcast saying, hey, well, how about this team? And he's like, oh, I'm good. I can play. Like, he's honestly not picky. He can literally be on the worst team, even the A's, right? And if the A's sign him, he's going to play for the A's.
Yeah, and his agent is female Rachel Luba.
Yeah, Rachel Luba. Yeah, I know she's all about, you know, like, supporting him and all this. And then so many background, like, you know, this and that. But I think if a team signs him, you know, give him the shot. Again, if he already did suspension and like
it's a low risk.
Yeah, low risk, high reward, right? So, but again, that's the thing. It's like, man, it sucks because of like, okay, if he's into a team, how would the fans react? How would the clubhouse react? How would the player like?
That's the
could
whole
it be more
PR thing.
more problems to it than where it's at now? So it's kind of like I don't think that any team can sign him for the bare minimum. Like for him, like you know,
Yeah.
he's been crazy with the Dodgers. So it's like, okay, what are you gonna do here? Do you think he's gonna get signed by this year, or you think it's not gonna happen?
I don't. I mean, it's starting to heat up.
Okay.
But I mean, I won't be surprised if he does.
Okay.
But I don't think it will happen right away.
Okay, me too. I don't think it's out. Honestly, I don't think he'll get signed.
Yeah.
I mean, how long can he get signed throughout the year, right?
Like he's any free agent.
Free agent, so he can be picked up like the last
mid-season,
month. Yeah. So maybe he might get picked up in the mid-season or like kind of because he's a free agent, but it's like I don't see it anytime soon. It was heating up like last week, I want to say, up and down, and now it's kind of going back down. But it could be any day right now, or it could be not this year.
Yeah. I wonder if a team will sign him to a free agent or to a spring training invite, and maybe do it that way.
Yeah.
And then see what he has.
Yeah.
And then if fans they start to see like his demeanor and everything.
Yeah.
But
yeah, so anyway, I wanted to bring that up too because I just wanted to see what your thoughts about it. And again, he's an ace. I feel like he's an ace still, and see him in the Japan League. He was an all-star there too. So it's like okay.
People forget that put the Dodgers back so much when they had to replace him.
Yeah. I'm saying he's an ace. He was pitching nasty stuff, you know. What else do we have? I know you're going to the spring training, right?
Yeah, I'm going to the game in a week's time against the A's on the 29th.
Okay, and I know you might try to get some autographs or meet players. You know, maybe ask a question or two, maybe.
Yeah.
And then we can put it on here.
Yeah.
Maybe ask some question. Maybe have your mic ready and say, "Hey, real quick, what do you think?"
Yeah.
Cool.
And any of you viewers, if you have a question you want me to ask, or footage you want me to take, just put in.
For sure. Like really, we might do something on the comments and say, "Hey, what do you guys want to ask?" If you want to ask one question too, I know it's gonna be hard, but it's spring training, so they're more open to like. Be out there more, meet the fans, take pictures.
And a lot of the younger guys are out there, so like
Ethan Salas.
Yeah, and a lot of the people that you probably haven't heard of.
Oh yeah, like we don't, some of the guys I let to look. I'm like, who is that?
Yeah, so it's good to like know what you have in the future of the franchise.
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
sure.
but do you think that um, a where do you think what do you think we need to do in spring training to feel good going in?
That's a good question. I don't know why I want to keep saying, but our pitchers, our starter pitchers, I want to see.
That's an important
It's
position.
very important. It kind of makes you. The pitcher controls the game, controls the pace of the game, controls how the game is going, because if you have no pitchers, they're just gonna keep scoring.
Yeah.
And I really want to see all our pitchers from first to the fifth, or anyone bullpen, no matter what. I just want to see them putting good work in and just not, just showing they're putting out there, because we have the hitters, we have the team
Yeah.
to do it.
Yeah.
You know?
And on top of that, another reason why I think Preller and the front office are taking a really relaxed approach to
Yeah.
this is because they want to see what they have.
Right.
And they know kind of what they have, but also, like, it's one thing if it's playoffs where you really need that top pitching.
Right.
But I think to begin the season, if Tatis could have an MVP season
Yeah.
or Machado have an MVP season, the offense can carry this for some time.
And talking about you just talked about those two people having MVPs, but you know who we need to come out? Jake Cronenworth.
Yeah, and he's a
needs-
lefty bat
He's
that
a lefty,
the team needs.
exactly. And I know last year was kind of, I honestly, everyone can say it, he did not perform where he did. He signed the contract, and what happened? Just went downhill, right?
Yeah.
And I get it. He was playing a new position, first base. That can be part of it with his hitting, and because you learn a new position, right?
And we also talking about that. You know who else could play first base? Matthew Batten.
Yeah. Oh, I forgot. And I think he has been playing sometimes when Jake is taking a day off or DHing or something.
And I don't know if he's still in our organization, but Brandon Dixon.
I want to say he is.
But
I think so. Maybe he. I don't know. Maybe I'm not sure. 50-50.
but we have definitely there's gonna be, and Profar can even play first base.
Yeah, he can play first base. I was just thinking that when you have a first baseman, you need a guy that kind of can have a little slugging in there, right? A first baseman that can also have DH. So that's kind of where okay, AJ. I know he went off last year, and that's kind of looked bad because we had such a heavy starter and heavy lineup. It just didn't work. So do you think AJ, before the season starts, do you think he's going to add another player or two?
Yeah,
Maybe not big names, not like Cody Bellinger or anything,
No.
but do you think he's going to add maybe someone that can fit a first baseman who can also have the power to hit like that? Or what do you think? Or do you think he's going to do another outfielder?
Yeah, so the Max Kepler has been talked about.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And then also, oh yeah, you heard about the Duran from the Red Sox?
Yeah. Oh, you tell me about that? Yeah.
Yeah. So, and as long as we don't have to give up much, like maybe a compensation pick,
Okay.
and maybe and we've really built up the farm again.
Yeah.
But if someone that can make an immediate impact right now, I think it's something worth looking into.
Okay.
But another thing I wanted to bring up was this is what AJ Castell brought up on what we should expect for the opening day roster.
Okay.
But things are far from set. So Campy and Higgy at catcher. Infield, Bogarts, Cronenworth, Kim, Machado, Baton, Rosario, Graham Pauley, and Merrill. And both those guys been talked about being the outfield positions.
Yeah.
And then Jacob Merce, Azekar, and Tatis.
As outfielders.
In the rotation, Darvish, Grove, King, Brito, Vasquez. And the bullpen, Suarez, Matsui, Peralta, Suk, Wilson, Cosgrove, Los Santos, and Patino. And this offseason, it was a sneaky offseason for this bullpen.
Yeah,
Because we got those top 2 Koreans, and then we picked up Luis Patino off waivers where he started his career.
So
he could be a starter.
That's a funny thing. I like what you said about that because if that's what I'm saying. What I want to see in spring training is our starters perform really well because if they could take us to 5 or 6 innings, our bullpen will cover them. If we have a 2 or more run lead, I feel confident with all these bullpens.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, they might have hiccups on the way, but 8 out of 10 times, they will give you a win.
Yeah, and
you know?
And Cosgrove, at the end of the season, started to, because we ran out of pitchers. And I liked what I saw from him as a rookie last year.
Yeah.
And I think we're going to need him to step up. And Steven Wilson, Cosgrove, and Patino all were starters at one point.
Yeah, for sure. And I've been seeing the videos on their the spring training, and they're looking good. They're looking good. I'm excited for I'm really excited for this bullpen and pitchers to get this going.
Yeah,
you know?
And the one thing I'm really curious is who's gonna be our everyday DH.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I really don't know. Manny Machado. I think he's good for opening day.
Yeah.
Is he going to be playing the KBO?
He's on track.
He's on track to play.
But they may just sit him out anyways. Just there's no rush. But and since it's a loaded infield, depending on which minor leaguers we call up. Remember when we're having some like Tatis excitement players coming up, like Merrill, and Paulie and Mars.
So like, who do you think would be a DH of the roster we have right now?
Yeah, so
that's what I'm thinking. It's kind of like, okay,
Higgy could, can't be, like, it just depends who we put out there behind the dish, but like, and yeah, that loss of Grisham's going to be big, but maybe guys that excelled in the minors that just to get them some swings. But my one hot take for the Padres this year, it's gonna be a 100-win team.
And that's very hot take. I don't think I've seen a Padre with 100 wins since I can remember. When's the last time they got 100 wins?
I don't think they have. Have they?
Maybe not. I think what was last year's 85?
It was like
mid
80s. And
we were projected to get 100 or like high 90s. So you're saying we're gonna be in 100 wins? Okay, I remember remember that time when we did like what's our bracket like, and I think you did. Did you put your bracket as 100 Padre wins?
I put him in second place.
You still put him in second place?
But the one thing, carry on with your thought.
So I was gonna say, that's crazy. 100 wins is gonna be crazy. Let's see what we're looking at right now. We were at 82 wins, and look at that right there. So we're looking at right now one run. The final was with the one run, and we were 9 wins with 23 losses and 1-run games. That right there could have changed everything. That could have made us go to the postseason if it was reversed.
We could have been a 2 seed, 3 seed.
If that was reversed, let's say we were 23-9. Holy cow! Imagine we'll have been 90 wins.
We would have won the division.
For real. I mean, that's crazy. So, talking about that, what do I expect for the Padres is, first of all, I don't want to see those 1-run losses.
And extra innings, we were 2-12. And the last 2 came in the last series of the season against the Giants.
No, exactly. And I think we were starting, was it 0-10? We almost broke a record.
0-12. I think if we had one more loss, that would have broke the MLB record.
Unbelievable. But we didn't, so hey. But all these
we do not want to revisit that.
No. So what the Padres need to change is the 1-run losses and extra innings. And I think that would have been much better.
And another thing, and some of the players talked on it, and I think it's it was really evident is, the expectations were so high,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
they just need to play ball and just do what they can and learn from it. And there might be teams that are gonna take it lightly because they think, oh, Soto's gone, this team's different. They don't, but this team is stacked.
Real quick, talk about Soto before I do another one. Do you think he's going to have a great year for the Yankees? Or do you think he's going to be kind of up and down again?
I have to see,
This is his last contract, right, before he becomes a free agent?
yeah. So,
What are you thinking? You think he's going to do better than he was a Padre?
I think that shorter fence in Yankee Stadium will help.
Okay.
And being that, but yeah, the Yankees lost a lot of pitching.
Yeah. No, I just want to what you said about Soto, but I did hear about Joe Musgrove was on a podcast, and he was talking about how he feels his team is good. He's saying that we have the right guys to play, and he was talking about the Dodgers, how the Dodgers have a heavy lineup just like they had last year, the Padres, and look what happened to the Padres. So he's saying, yeah, it's good to have a great team, and on paper it looks good, and they might be the number one seed and might win it all, or at least make it to the World Series. It didn't turn out like that to the Padres.
Mm-hmm.
Could that turn out to the Dodgers? I'm just saying Dodgers because they have they went crazy. I mean, it could happen. I'm not saying it's always going to happen, but he was just saying, you know what? Play to your game, and you're always going to be there behind the guys' backs because it's a team sport. You're going to just keep pushing. So I'm thinking that, yeah, I mean, you saying 100 wins? I'm not saying you're crazy. It's a hot take. That's what it is. That's what it means. But hey, I mean, if that happens, they gotta go all the way.
Yeah, and I just see that this is gonna be fun. And right here, MLB Trade Rumors has Sal Frelick as a possible, that Brewer outfielder.
Okay.
And then there's been talks of Tommy Pham wanting to come back.
I did hear that for a while. I don't know if it's.
But he hasn't signed.
Yeah. He's a free agent, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, this is gonna be fun to see. Like, there's a lot of holes, but it's a very experienced group.
Do you think we're gonna add any more players before spring training, before this next week? Do you think during spring training or before opening? What are you thinking? Are we gonna add more players, or are you thinking, if you're AJ, what are you gonna do? Are you just gonna see what happens in spring training and go from there?
I mean, I think he's gonna see what the market does.
Okay.
So yeah, the market will kind of say what
needs to happen.
Yeah, because you don't want to push it.
Yeah. No. Yeah. I mean, I think that's right. I think for me, I would say like let's see how spring training is. That's what you have spring training for, to see how your team looks, how's your players looking, how they're feeling, how's the throwing, how's the hitting, how's the fielding, and go from there. If you feel like if you look, because it's hard to see, but once you're seeing it on the field and you see the lineup and you seeing the game how it's playing, that's more easier to say, oh, I can see why we need a better left fielder, or I can see why we need a better first baseman. I can see why we need a better fifth rotation. So for me, if I was AJ, I'm gonna look through the preseason, look and actually physically look to see how the team looks on the field and on batting, and make my decision. Because on paper, it's on paper.
And it's a whole brand new coaching staff.
Yeah, everyone. It's like I feel like it's almost like a rebuild, but not yet a rebuild.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
It's a rephrase.
Rephrase, because I don't want to say rebuild because we still have
the core.
We still have the core, but it's like something had to change
in a kind of a environment check.
Yeah.
And then. Yeah, Padre fans, if you haven't already, follow our page, or anyone can follow our page. But also, like, kind of put what you're excited for the spring training and for the season, and what you guys think.
Yeah, and again, Max is going soon, so let us know if he can. I know he will ask some questions if he has opportunity to, or just anything, and maybe he'll do something. Maybe we'll do one when he's in Arizona and kind of talk about how it was and his. Is it your first time going?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that'd be fun. He's going with your brother, right?
Mm-hmm.
So just for the day, but yeah, I think that'll be fun. You kind of see. I know some people saying they always have a blast going and they like to go again. So I think you'll have fun and
this is gonna go by fast because opening day is gonna be right here.
Yeah, for sure.
And we start before everyone else.
Yeah, and then the Korean game is gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun. I mean, I'm excited for the season.
And Padre fans also, there's no blackout games on
Yes.
MLB TV this year.
Yes, exactly. I know. We still don't even have a. Is MLB just going to take over again? Or have they
For this
announced it?
year.
For this year. So it's confirmed?
Yeah.
Okay, so
and I think the Padres have their channel still, but like it's still available through MLB.
MLB TV. Okay. But yeah, guys. So again, just let us know what you guys like to listen to. I know I'm gonna do another pod tomorrow with a friend about UFC. For those guys or for people that have been telling me like let's do some content of MMA, I'm gonna do that. And I know Max is really great with the NBA style. He's really into that. And I'm trying to get into it too. So
And March Madness is coming up.
March Madness, which I know about March Madness, so I think we're doing a podcast coming up soon. And once the brackets filled, right?
Yeah, we'll put our predictions.
Yeah, I know those predictions go. We have a good. People like the predictions, which we do too. So
Yeah, and who I give you that excuse to get in trouble at school to watch.
yeah, I know. I know we did it all the time. Like you'd be watching. It's fun. You have so many games going on because it's like each 5 minutes a new tip off.
Yeah.
So I'm excited. When is the? Do you know when they choose who plays who?
Selection Sunday. It's normally like the middle of March or end, like the 18th, 19th.
So we'll keep you posted on that, and for sure, once that happens, we'll do it.
And what about the NCAA 25?
Oh yeah. So if you guys haven't heard. This morning they announced that they're gonna make the new NCAA football again. When's the last time it happened?
Almost over 10 years ago.
10 years, right? 2015?
16? Robinson was on the cover.
Oh, man, it must be 14 or something.
Yeah, I think it was 14.
14? So, yeah, they just making it for 2020.
Bernard Robinson.
Right, yeah. So, 2025, so that means it might be releasing this...
It's July.
So summertime. So, that's exciting news for all those guys. It's been a minute. I think I'm going to play it.
Yeah, it's going to be fun.
It's going to be a fun game to play for sure again. But anything else, last minute stuff besides that?
But yeah, it's going to be the season's right here, and keep Friar faithful.
Yeah, guys, I know it's going to be, just be excited. We don't know what to expect. Look at the D-backs. Made to the World Series with no, expectations whatsoever. So it could be us. I mean, honestly, you don't know what can happen, right?
Yeah, and just... believe and these guys believe in each other.
Yep. Other than that, I think that will be it.
That will conclude it.
And then yes, thank you again, guys, and we'll keep continuing it.
Yeah. Well, have a great weekend.
All right, guys.